Welcome back, Turners. For Christmas, my dear wife got me a new Harbor Freight workbench, the 60-inch hardwood workbench. I wanted the workbench to replace the first Harbor Freight workbench that is now under my Rockler Excelsior mini lathe. That bench I had modified to use as a woodworking bench, and it's just a little inconvenient to have to take the lathe off and move stuff around every time I want to use it for flat work and whatnot. So I've already built the bench. Well, let me show it to you. Here's the new Harbor Freight workbench right down here. And what you can see on top of the bench here, I'm going to add to it, just like I have to the other one, I'm going to add these Rockler workbench casters. So you can pick these up normally on sale for about $59–60. I think normally the full retail price is almost $80. So watch for the sale. Anyway, these are a really handy set of casters. They allow the bench to sit down on the ground when the wheels are in the up position, and by stepping on these little levers, it pushes the wheel down into a locked position so you can move the bench around. So I'm not going to show you how to make, obviously, the Harbor Freight bench. There's plenty of videos out there on that. I will show you how I mount these up, because I don't think I've seen any of those videos. And then I'm going to show you how I rearrange this shop. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so here we are at the bottom of the legs of the workbench, and I already have a set of these mounted up on my other Harbor Freight workbench. So what I have found for me, if you're going to use these, the mounting height that works for me is right here. So there's a little lip down here at the bottom of the lever assembly. This edge can come all the way right down to the top of the foot on the leg set. So what I do is I mark it, because I'm going to drill these a little bit. Now the kit comes with some screws, so it has all the hardware that you need. There we go. I've got some screw holes there. I'm going to do the same thing over here on this side. And I'm just going to make a small pilot hole where those black dots are. That way I don't risk cracking the wood with the screws provided in the kit. So, come on, there we go. Okay, so now I'm just going to, like I said, put a little pilot hole in there and drive the screws in. Okay, so I've gone ahead and put a small drill bit in my cordless drill. If you guys haven't seen me using these, I have the Craftsman C3 line of tools. They often go on sale, and they're a pretty good deal. They're actually Ryobi, but rebranded as Craftsman. And I have upgraded them to the lithium-ion batteries, and they work very, very well for my purposes. So this, or the Ryobi 1+ set, incredible line of tools, all operating off of one battery. So I'm going to go ahead and drill these holes and then start mounting the caster plates. Okay, so now we're going to put the casters on. We're going to use this hardware. There's a lock washer and a nut. And what we're going to do, this nut is a 9/16, so I got myself a wrench that's 9/16. You could use a crescent wrench or anything else that works. The operation is pretty simple. These lift up. This slides underneath. Put the lock washer and the nut. Now, this underneath, if you have a very thin wrench of some kind to be able to grasp the other nut, then that's probably not a bad idea. I don't, unfortunately. But if you grasp this bearing housing firmly with your hand, you can really just tighten this. I'm going to use a box end, so just tighten it by hand like this. This is all you need to do. You should be able to hold that secure enough to get that. Oh yeah, that's already tight. And that's all there is to that. We'll repeat for this other side. Okay, so another lock washer and nut. So it's really a quick operation. It doesn't take more than a couple minutes to do this all together. That's going to be snug enough. Now, one thing I want to show you guys is how this operates. So these normally, there we go. So the workbench, as you can see, it is sitting on its feet. It's resting on the ground, so it's in its most stable configuration. But if you want to move it, all you have to do is step on these. Oh, you see the other one kind of just fell into place. Now, the workbench is ready to move. And when you're ready to take it down, I like to do them both at once, but you lift those up. And now the workbench is back down on its feet again. So now I just need to do the other side, and I'll be done. Okay, so that side's up. That side's up. To give you an idea of how nice and mobile this workbench becomes once it's on the casters. Okay, I don't have a lot of room to spin it, but I think you guys get the idea. So now all I have to do is reorganize the garage a bit. Okay, you guys might remember this bench from my shop introduction tour video. This is the one that I want to swap out with that new Harbor Freight bench. You can see that I've added things here. I've pointed these out before, but my face vise, the sliding dead man. So I have this set up for flat woodworking, and I'd like to get the lathe off it. So that's what I'm going to work on here. So hopefully in a moment, through the magic of video, you will see the difference. And there it is, the magic of video. The new bench is now in the place of where the old bench was. And there's a couple new toys down here. And I'm going to have to showcase on another video. There's a pressure pot for some casting. Vacuum pump for some stabilizing. You can see my buffing wheels down there. I don't know if you've seen those before. So that gave me a little bit of room. I've transferred the lathe tools for the little Excelsior over here. So I got a little bit more storage space available. And there's the other bench sitting over there. All cleaned off. I was able to empty out some of the drawer space and reorganize a little. And hopefully I'll get some time to do a project now. I want to do something. I've got a couple of things in mind, some bolt projects and a tool that I want to make, hollowing tool. So that'll probably be in an upcoming video. Well, Turners, thanks for joining me again in the shop today. I hope you got a little entertainment and information out of the adding the caster kit onto the Harbor Freight Workbench, and also a little bit of the reorganization I did here in the shop. So if you liked it, remember to comment, like, subscribe, and share, and check out my channel to see some of the other awesome wood turners and woodworkers that I subscribe to. Thanks again, and we'll see you for the next one.